The member for Braddon.
Well, thank you, Deputy Speaker, and it's a great opportunity to speak on this motion concerning the results of the PISA 2012 survey, which show, sadly, that Australia has delivered the worst outcomes for us as a nation since testing began. I just heard the last speaker talk a lot about academics and school principals, as she herself is, no doubt the unions, teachers themselves, and that's all good. But today I want to stand here as the representative for Braddon and ask, well, what do the parents of our children think? And more importantly even than that, what are the employers in my electorate saying about the current education system? So what do we have? We have a survey of 65 countries where just 15,000, that's not a bad sample I would have thought, 15,000 students from 775 schools randomly picked to do a survey crossing mathematics, science and reading. Now, the reality here is that when it comes to mathematics, we're rated 19th out of those 65 countries. When it comes to science, 16th, and in reading, 13th. And as I said before, the worst rankings that this country has produced since the testing began. Sadly, I think for our country, Mr Deputy Speaker, the average student in China is now 2 full years ahead of the average Australian student when it comes to science, 18 months ahead when it comes to mathematics and reading. These are our trading partners. These are our competitors. These are the people that are setting the pace across the globe. And despite record funding over the last decade, where we hear so much from state education ministers, state premiers, it's certainly the case in Tasmania, which I'll get to in a moment, where they announce so boldly, so proudly, so enthusiastically that we have spent a record amount of money in education. How good are we? And yet, standards have declined. They have declined significantly. Parents tell me that every single day, and employers absolutely tell me that they're not getting from the education system the students, the potential employees that they need. Funding is increasing, but performances and standards are falling. Something is not right. Something is fundamentally wrong. Now, when it comes to Tasmania, Mr Deputy Speaker, we are amongst the largest falls in educational outcomes of any state. We're the worst performing in Australia, second only to a territory in the Northern Territory. In all three categories, my state of Tasmania is the worst ranked state. What a dismal performance, and something that I am far from proud of. And I would hope that in my time in this place, together with hopefully a new Minister for Education in the state of Tasmania, that we can work together to actually increase those standards significantly. We have a lot of work to do, and there will be a great deal of time required to deliver it. But we've had 16 years of a Tasmanian Labor government where we have failed our young people when it comes to education. It should be noted that the last 4 years were in fact with an education minister from the Greens coalition side of the equation when it came to the handing out of portfolios. Not only are Tasmanian children more likely to have below-average results in maths, science and reading, but they are less likely, far less likely, to remain at school for years 11 and 12. Retention and completion rates are the worst in the country. Just 67% of children go on to year 11 and 47% go on to complete year 12. There is much work to be done. The work can be done with a diligent, new Liberal state government, hopefully being elected on the 15th of March, where we will provide an additional $45 million over 4 years towards extending 21 high schools in the state to year 12 in the first term of a new government. There is much work to be done, but we are committed together, federal and state, to deliver better outcomes. Thank you, Mr Deputy.